G'day Galway. My name's Mama Duck, rhymes with fuck. You won't forget that, will you? I'm actually celebrating a bit of a milestone this week. It's been a year since I've bled, so I'm officially menopausal.
Yay!
So far I'm symptom free. It is hot in here though, right? No, but I've got a really important story to tell you tonight, and Did you see my glasses? Anyone see they're on top of my head. Oh, I'm sorry, seniors moment. There's the menopause, give me hot flushes, and a raging wide-on, which brings me quite conveniently to my own sort of story, because my name is Mama Duck. I'm an Aussie, and everyone's got to have a gimmick. My gimmick happens to be that I have seen a lot of wild shit in my time, because I worked in a sex shop in Perth, Western Australia. And we've got a boom-bust economy in Western Australia the last 150 years. Basically, my ancestors on the maternal side were shipped out on what were known as floating brothels, because we had good breeding hips, as you can see. So it was probably nominal destiny that I ended up in a sex shop. And when I ended up in the sex shop, I found myself in the sex industry. I thought it was just selling high heels and dildos, but instead I started meeting very interesting people like dominatrixes. And the first dominatrix I ever met, first of all, hands up, who knows what a dominatrix is? Put up your hand, everyone else. Because you're cowards, you know you're fucking liars. We all know what a dominatrix is. Dominatrix is someone who likes to dominate someone with their consent, obviously, and put them through all sorts of, well, let's say, a bit of an obstacle course. So the first time I met a dominatrix, she was in Perth. She was fabulous. She was 50. Her name was Madame Boadicea, and she invited me to help out in her dungeon. Now, I was a sweet, naive little thing at the time, so I didn't know what I was getting into, but I was also an ex-journo, so I thought, I want to fucking know what this is all about, because it's going to make a great story. And so here we go. So, first of all, I said, well, what shall I wear? She said, do you have anything black? I said, well, I've got a little French maid outfit that came with the shop. I could wear that. And she was like, that's excellent. Unbeknownst to myself, of course, I was now placing myself in a sub-position. So when I rocked up to Queen Beau's house, I thought, of course, we all get the cliche vision, don't we, of like the stone or the brick dungeons, the manacles on the wall, something that's substantial. It was in point of fact a little aluminium garden shed. So we got a cup of tea in her house. It was a very suburban kitchen, nothing out of the ordinary. I was in my French maid costume. She was in a long vinyl dress, sort of thing you wear on a Tuesday afternoon. And we wandered out past her back lawn and into her garden shed. It looked like it would have nothing in it but lawnmowers, but instead it contained a naked man kneeling with a blindfold on his head and manacled behind his back. And he was about to get an experience the like of which I'd never seen before. The first thing that happened was I was handed a very large catering pack of cling film. I'm not very adept at that sort of thing. I'm a bit of a klutz. I can't even manage to wrap fucking school lunches, never mind a full-grown man kneeling with his hands manacled behind his back. But I had a go. She hoisted him to his feet, tied him to a post, and then away I went in my high heels with a cling film wrap. Just as well as blindfold, because I look like a fucking idiot. Walking around this man with a thing of cling film, and I couldn't think all the time, what is he getting out of it? When he was finally wrapped up like a plastic mummy, she put him on a table and started putting candles out on his chest, and then she indulged in a bit of light CBT. Put up your hand if you know what CBT is. Nothing. Hello, sweetie. G'day. I'll put a pin in that and see you a bit later on, alright? So CBT stands for cock and ball torture. So, so she proceeded to wrap some heavy cord around the man's testicles and his knob. It didn't look like fun to me, it set me sort of off in a bit of investigation in a journalism sort of fashion. I started asking among the BDSM community, what are you getting out of it? And it's all been quite disturbing, but as I've escalated asking the questions through comedy and stuff, I've taken the journey into OnlyFans. So there I am on my OnlyFans, #SmokyEmerald. I get all kinds of requests in the messages, and recently I got a BDSM request. I got a request from a young man who asked me very nicely, for a fee, if I would make a video asking him to punch himself in the balls. Now, this put me in a bit of a ethical quandary. I was hoisted on the horns of a dead llama because I thought this young man is actually going to hurt himself, and on the other hand, I need to put diesel in the car and buy dog food. So I made a video in which I urged him to punch himself in the balls as he wanted, and then he sent me a video of himself doing it, which was a little bit more disturbing than I'd imagined. I actually had a bit of a cry, and I said to my best friend, I've enabled a man's self-harm. She said, you've not enabled a man's self-harm. He's probably married with 5 kids. What, is he going to ask his wife to fucking do that sort of thing? Some people have things you just can't ask your partner to do. So hands up, you've got something to... No, I'm kidding. We won't do that sort of crowd work. But all I can say is I've come round to the conclusion that whatever floats your boats, as long as it doesn't involve animals or children, and you're all consenting, do whatever the fuck you like, darling, because life is short. So thank you, Galway. You haven't laughed much, but my God, you fucking listened, haven't you? You've been fantastic. I've been on the dark